All right, welcome back, guys. All two of you. So this is my third review. This is gonna be of the owl. Um, I've I've filmed these three videos back to back. I'm gonna try to space these out in a weekly manner because that's probably what the algorithm lords would want. So I'm not gonna spam these all in one day, but have them locked and loaded in the barrel would be nice. So yeah. So this is Marvel Legends Owl. It's on that single carded kind of newer, there's like the Toy Biz inspired stuff, and then there's like the newer single carded look. So this is a more modern take. So got a little bit more modern packaging. And this is the owl. I believe his name is Leland Owlsley. And he's more of a Daredevil villain to me. I don't know if you guys remember, but in season 1 of Daredevil, he is one of the guys in the, that criminal overlord ring, all those guys. He was the guy, I'm pretty sure he was in charge of fudging the money trail. He was that guy. I didn't know that at the time. But that character always stood out to me. I always liked that guy. And then the only other time I ever ran into this character was in a Daredevil comic. Spider-Man ended up showing up, but I'm pretty sure Spider-Man was getting, I'm pretty sure he was getting stomped out by this guy, but Daredevil was after him, so he's just always been more of a Daredevil guy to me. But Spider-Man and Daredevil, obviously they share villains all the time. Kingpin, probably more, but yeah. So, this is him. It's not a very good figure, but there is something about running into a character organically in a comic book and then finding a figure, it just hits different. So I wanted to get him for that reason. So I'm gonna go over accessories first because this guy's got some stuff going on. So he does come with these claw-like hands because he's just a grimy bastard. It's not painted at all. I think different paint for the fingernails would be interesting. And then he comes with this owl accessory. I think it's just your typical barn owl. I did paint him up a little bit, added some brown, painted the beak. It's not very good. All he's gonna do is stand on the ground. He can't attach to a shoulder or an arm, and that's kind of lame. I appreciate that he's here, but whatever. And then he also gets these claws. Now, he's very Wolverine-esque, but he predates Wolverine, so technically Wolverine stole this guy's drip. But his head very much looks like Wolverine, and these claws too, obviously, but the new World War II Logan uses these same claws, so very interesting. If you really wanted to, you could probably cut off some of the beard. You probably have to fill in a hole, because I'm sure there's a hole where it's glued in. Paint it black. I think this would make a pretty good Wolverine head sculpt. I mean, just take away some of this beard up front. That could work. That could work. Even though the hair kind of reminds me more of X2 Wolverine, the opening. I think that's when his hair looked the most ridiculous. But yeah. Excuse me. So where to start here, man? So he's pretty much a traffic cone with this jacket. You're not getting a whole lot out of him. I don't need him to do a whole lot. But yeah, so he's got forward-facing pin for rocker, goes down a lot, goes up not a whole lot. That's actually pretty weak there. And then forward-facing pin for rocker. He does have double-jointed pinless legs that go up to about there. I'm not even going to attempt to work around this. I'm going to be honest. The legs, double-jointed pinless knees. Again, I'm just going to run into the coat. I don't want to take all this off. But if I did take all this off, this is mostly reused from the No Way Home Doc Ock. So if you were to take all this off, the back has just the ugliest portholes for where the tentacles would go. It's crazy. Some people might think that's cheap, but I think when reuse makes sense, it's fine. And I think that's fine. I mean, the body type works. I don't think you're going to take all this off, because even if you did, you still have these green arms that are meant to be the jacket. So it's fine. I'm never going to see that back there, so I don't mind it. The inside here, he has I'm assuming it's a dumbbell. Again, I can't really, it moves, but it's not going to move a lot. But yeah, it's in there. And the head is on a dumbbell joint, so you get decent tilt. But again, this is why I don't like this system. You're not getting a whole lot down, and you're not getting a whole lot up. So that's lame. The arms, ball coming out to the shoulder, it goes. I think my copy is super tight. I did heat it up, but it's so cold. We're in the middle of like a winter vortex, so even the house is a little cold. So I'm sure it goes up more, but even if it does go up more, you're gonna hit this part of the jacket. Now there is a cut on the front and the back, so it will move a little bit. And they cut it as far as it would go while still making sense. So, yeah, it probably does go up more, but whatever. There is an upper bicep swivel, and like I said, single jointed elbow, which, you know, for a single joint, that's acceptable, I think. And then he does have these hands here, which swivel up or down, and they hinge up and down, swivel. I'm not gonna move it too much, because I will say these claws are kind of annoying. They are not glued in there, and they come out easily. So I mean, it's not hard to put back in or anything, but if you look here, the hands have what's supposed to be the undershirt coming out, which is cool, but it's a god-awful cut there and on the other side there for the hinge. So I mean, well, from the side, I like it, I appreciate it, but I don't think it was needed, because I mean, his other hands don't have that sculpted in either. And at first I was like, maybe they didn't glue these in because the Wolverine, the new Wolverine or Logan, uses these as well. But then I'm like, it doesn't make sense anyway, because it's a separate piece. It wouldn't matter if it's glued in or not. So I think they should have glued it. I might just glue it myself, because like I said, it's kind of annoying to deal with. So yeah, I guess paint app time, right? Legs casted in that green. Pretty sure like all of the feet, even this top part, that's got to be a different piece. I mean, it's a completely different plastic. The most egregious part though is under here. If you see, this part is not only it's completely separate plastic because it's part of the crotch piece, but the color matching is not correct. It's just not there. Now I will say, with everything in front of it, you can't really tell. I mean, because like, let's see, you can move this. You can't really tell, but you know, a little bit peeking out with it being surrounded by darker colors like that, I think it's pretty obvious that it's not the same color. So, not making excuses, it should just be the same color. But like I said, for the most part, it's going to be kind of covered. So, and then this under jacket, soft rubbery piece, it doesn't actually go all the way around, and I'm pretty sure it was the same for, I think this is the same one from Doc Ock. So it's, you know, it doesn't need to, but that is something. I also painted the silver zippers on either side, and there's a strip right here that I painted a darker brown. And this is very flexible, soft scarf. I don't know how old this is or where else it's been used, but I remember it being used on the long jacket Star-Lord from the Ego 2-pack. So that's very clearly that scarf. The head, It's not a wash up top, but you do see darker brown, but they're very deliberate straight lines. I mean, they're curved, but the line work seems very deliberate, so it's not a complete wash. Little detail in mind, I did fill in the crevice here all the way around back with a darker brown. Small detail, and I think it could use more wash, but I like that little touch there. The beard part does not have any wash. I might go back and add something there because it's a little jarring. And the beard is a separate piece. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. But it's funny because it looks like a bird or an owl flying. I can't unsee that. And then the jacket, there's some seam lines going up and down all around. I painted that a darker green. And then I don't know what this area of a jacket's called. I keep wanting to say the bib, but I don't know if that makes sense. There's an outer line ridge around it all. I just painted that a darker green as well as the straps on the sleeves, and then the pockets there. The buttons were already painted. There was brown up front, I guess to mimic dirt, but it stopped on either side right about here. So I just went over it with the brown and brought it all the way around. And then there's a lot of cuts in the jacket, and I just added a smudge, a bit of brown here and there on every single one of them. And then I did paint the claws silver because it was that cheap gray plastic look. So I think I covered everything. Like I said, there's just a lot going on with him. He's not the most mobile thing. I don't think I need him to be. I kind of just got him because something about running into him in the comic for the first time. I do wish he came with another head sculpt, one with the goggles, because it could still be a more modern look, but having the goggles would be a nice callback to a classic look. But it also, to me, completes the look, because big round oval lenses really completes the owl look to me. So it's kind of a shame. I would rather that other head sculpt than this useless owl, to be honest. So, yeah. Do I recommend this? I'm gonna be honest, probably not. You could probably skip on this. Like I said, I got kind of a, I don't want to call it nostalgia. It's just that weird thing when you run into a comic book character for the first time. I don't know. I have a soft spot for him. I thought he was kind of cool. So that's why I got him. And also there is a bit of completionist in my brain. I do suffer from chronic collector brain. But, I was familiar with the character. It's not like it was a character I had no idea of. So, I mean, honestly, as far as like a action figure goes, it's not very good. I don't really recommend it on that front. But if you're into Spider-Man villains / Daredevil villains, I do think he's cool. He's obscure enough to be cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm torn, really. Like, I don't really recommend it, but at the same time, I got a soft spot for him. I don't know. Old Leland. So, yeah, I don't know. I do think the customization potential with the head sculpt, though, like I said, taking off that front of the beard there, painting everything else black, I think that could be a real mean-looking Wolverine head sculpt, to be honest. And I'm sure somebody out there will try it. Hopefully make a YouTube video or something to show it off. I'm not going to go that crazy with him. But I will say he's on the more realistic side in terms of detail for a comic book figure. And it's not like a just blank canvas of a suit. He's got like texture, and there's some line texture to the actual suit. There's buttons, there's scrapes, there's tatters. And touching it up a little bit, I think really goes a long way. I really like him in terms of what I've done to him to bring out some of that stuff. So there's also that. But just straight out the packaging, he's just kind of whatever, He's, like I said, he's basically a traffic cone. He doesn't have the greatest arm movement. Good luck trying to get the legs to do anything. The dumbbell system in the neck, I hate. So he's not moving much. So I don't know. I'll probably repeat myself at this point, but I don't really recommend him. So I'm not disappointed, but I'm not particularly hyped on this one. So yeah, that'll do it. Shout out to my boy Leland. Like and subscribe, always appreciated. And I guess I will see you on the next one. Probably gonna do cardiac next. So peace out.